In this video I will tell you how to migrate contact data to Virto Commerce and how to keep its relations with organizations. In general, the flow is the same as for organizations migration. So first we need to export contact data from the master system, then we need to download the template file from Virto Commerce, clean and rename columns in master data file to make it work for Virto Commerce import, and finally import contacts and its relations with organizations to Virto Commerce contact module. There are actually few additional options. So first of all, it's possible to import contacts directly to the root, and I will show you how it works. We also face sometimes the challenge when a master data file doesn't contain information about organization's ID, so it's a problem then to link contacts and organization during the import, and I will show you one of possible workarounds for it. And the last topic is about creating users store accounts together with the contacts import so that you don't need to create users manually. So first of all, we need to export contacts data from the master system. I use Dynamics 365 as an example here. So we go to contacts and download Excel file and then convert it to CSV file so that we can work with it. After that, we need to download template from Virto Commerce. So we need to go to the contact module, we need to select any contact and export it. So system offers us to download the file with the contact data, and we can use this file as a template. So during the next step, we need to improve the master data file to make it work for Virto Commerce import. On the left side, we have a file with the master data that was downloaded from Dynamics 365, and on the right side, we have a template that was downloaded from Virto Commerce. So now we need to improve the file with the master data to make it possible to import it to Virto Commerce. So first of all, let's delete all the useless data from the initial file with the master data. So the next step is to place the name of columns with the right one so that Virto Commerce import knows how to map this data. Virto Commerce import mechanism assigns its own internal IDs when creating records. That is why please make sure that all master system IDs are mapped as outer ID in the file that you prepare for import. It would allow you to map properly entities during the import. Now we need to save the file. Now we are ready to import contacts to Virto Commerce contact module. So we should go to the contact module. Let's check the organizations that we have imported before. You may see that organizations are empty. There are no any contacts inside it. Now we initiate import, select contacts data type, and upload the file with the contact data that we have prepared before. So we check the preview and initiate import. You may see that system reports that 10 lines were created successfully. So let's check the organizations now. You may see that 2 new contacts appeared inside this organization and in other organizations. So it means that contacts were imported successfully and its relations with accounts were also imported successfully. Now let's see how to import contacts to Virto Commerce without any relation with organizations. So I have cleaned up contacts that we have imported on the previous step. You may see that this organization is empty now. And now we may go to the import file and make appropriate changes. So what we need to do, we need to terminate or make unavailable organization ID column somehow. So I suggest just to change the name so that Virto Commerce import will not be able to map this field properly. So now our file doesn't have organization, outer organization ID in the contact record. So we need to save the file and let's see how it will work. Now let's import the updated file. So again, select data type contacts. We select the updated file. We may check the preview and import it. So you may see that 10 new lines were created. Yeah, we may check organizations and we see that there are still no contacts in organizations. So it means that contacts were imported to the root. So here we can see it. For example, this contact is not a member of any organization, while we may see that it was imported successfully. Sometimes it happens so that the master data file doesn't contain organization IDs in contact records, just because the master data system doesn't allow to download it in this way. I will show you a simple workaround that you may use in case you have at least organization names in contact records. Without having organization outer ID, we may use the organization name as organization outer ID. So first of all, we need to add it to organizations. So here we have created the file for organization creation where outer ID is the equivalent to the organization name. Now let's import these organizations to Virto Commerce. You may see that 8 organizations were created successfully. Check it in the list. So here they are. And you may see that organizations are empty. So now the next step is to add contacts to these organizations. So here is the contact file without organization's ID, outer ID as well. And again, we replace organization outer ID with organization names. Due to this action, it will be possible to import relations between contacts and organizations to Virto Commerce. Now we need to save the file. And let's import contacts to Virto Commerce. So 10 contacts were created successfully. And if you go inside the organization, you may see that new contacts appeared there. It means that relations between organizations and contacts were imported successfully due to the trick that we have applied. In Virto Commerce web store, users and contacts are decoupled. So before this moment we were talking about importing contacts, and now I will tell you how to create users together with the contact import. One option is to create users manually. So you always may go to the contact and create a web store account for each of your stores there. Bulk creation of users for the import is a good alternative to manual work. This is our initial import file. You may see that we don't have any information about users here, so let's see how to edit. We need to go to the template that we have downloaded on the previous steps. It's a template for contacts, and find there the section that is responsible for users or storefront accounts information. So then we need to add here accounts login. I think using emails as login names is the simplest option, while you can use some other strategy. Then we add here emails that will be used for password restore. So we need to add store ID, and that is actually it. Then we need to save a file, and let's import it. So now we importing contacts. Updated file that contains user related information. So 10 contacts were created successfully. Now we need to find these contacts. And you may see that now accounts or users are assigned to each of the imported contacts. So it means that we added users to contacts during the import successfully.